Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Betalong. SportsRunDown Betalong. How is everybody getting on?
Buzzing, LB. Absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, actually, I am myself, and another sort of typical start for us. As we came live, Roma just scored a counter-attack goal, which completely threw me off the goal live process. But yeah, Gary, you've had a pretty good day yourself with the racing. We'll get your angle up on the screen there now for anyone who's watching us.
Yeah, it was a great day with the horses. So, anybody who's been following the kind of tips on SportsRunDown.com will have seen that we've kind of been knocking on the door a bit over the last week or so. Like yesterday, we 3 second places. So tipped up 3 horses and they all finished second. But today, tipped up on the article. I actually tipped up 3 of these. But I threw the other one in, and I mentioned that the jockey William Buick had kind of a great book of rides. So, John, that's over 100 to 1 ACA that we got up. So, as you can see, my betting balance is looking a lot healthier. And yeah, it was just a great show throughout the day. So, anybody, if you watch the races back, the first and second leg, well, the first leg won quite comfortably. The second leg, there was a little bit of a sweat off at about halfway. And then, towards the end, he looked like he was going to win, and Judy won. The third leg, we got very lucky with. He won by the shortest of margins. I'd say it was a fingernail length.
We have it up on screen, Gary, for anyone who was watching the finish. Yeah.
Yeah. So
photo finish, was it?
It was a photo finish, yeah. And if I'm totally honest, I thought that he lost the race. So I sent it into our WhatsApp group just saying, well, I said it in worse terms than this, but I said that's that. So for anybody looking on screen, it's the horse in the red and white with the blue cap was the one we were on. And I said, in looking at it live, I didn't think I had a chance. And then I actually rewound it myself on the TV and paused it at that, and I was like, if that's the line, I think we've won. And then we won. So got that in, and then I said the fourth leg won quite well then in the end. So yeah, overall, unbelievable day, delighted with it, and hope we can continue on now for the rest of the evening and get a few winners with the football.
Yeah, we're already looking pretty good on our Betalong treble anyway, right?
Yeah, the Betalong treble is doing well. So the sporting game came in earlier on. It's like you want to give a rundown of
yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll go through it. Yeah, so that was
just before you do, Slats, for anyone who's familiar with us, we've got that up on the screen now. So this is actually the Sports Rundown website that Slats refers to every week when he puts up the ACA that we're doing, or usually a treble on a Friday and a Saturday. So you can see what we'll have up on the screen there. So just when you know that what he's talking about, now you can actually get a look for yourself. So go ahead there, Slats.
Yeah, so this went up on the website kind of yesterday afternoon sort of time. We all kind of come together, put in a bet each, and combine that as a treble for hopefully our winning ACA of the weekend.
Just before you do, Slats, for anyone who's familiar with us, we've got
of the 3, the first actually kicked off a little earlier. It kicked off at 6 o'clock, the Benfica Sporting Lisbon game. It was my call for both teams to score at 4-5. Just given, and again, I won't go through it in detail, seeing as it's already over. But neither team had a whole lot to play for. Lisbon had won the title, and it was just going to be both teams just going to go out and attack and try and kind of finish the season with a flourish, I suppose. Ended up finishing, I think, 4-3 to Benfica. So both teams to score was in by halftime. That's a nice start to get us going. The other 2 are underway as well. The next one to kick off is 7:45. Roma Lazio, and Roma have gone up 1-0 just coming in toward halftime in that. So the bet there was both teams to score in over 2.5 goals at 4-5. So you'd be hoping for at least one in the first half. You're kind of comfortable enough, I think, LB, once you get one in the first half. I think the SerieA, like most leagues that we track, seems to be more heavy on goals in the second half. So once you get off the mark, you're happy enough, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the other one, if you remember, that I actually provisionally put in for that bet and then took out was the same market, over 2.5 and both teams to score in the Belgian match.
Anderlecht, was it?
Yeah, Anderlecht Genk. It's 1-1 already. It was 1-1 at half an hour gone. So that one is actually looking pretty comfortable as well. So
And then your shout, Gary, was West Ham. I like to look at this one myself. Just given nearly more the stats on Brighton, like they just kind of, they're safe just since last weekend, like 10 points ahead of Fulham. So like Fulham, are going down, Brighton are staying up. That's nearly as much of a hangover as kind of winning the title early, like, when you're safe, like, so they really have nothing to play for. And, maybe sometimes I guess it can give them a spark of confidence that they don't have any of the stress of relegation, but they've nothing to play for. They also have a lot of injuries, and Maupay and Dunk missing are both suspended. So they're missing a lot of players, whereas, West Ham still have plenty to play for Europa League and a faint chance of a Champions League spot. They'll really be going for an away win, and they've Declan Rice back in as well. So just for them to be priced above evens seemed pretty generous, 13-10. I know you had seen them at 7-5, Gary, and by the time I was writing the article, I saw them on Bet365 anyway at 13-10, so I didn't want to.
Yeah, I think actually, like at the start of the match, it might have been even money.
Yeah, that's it. It's not surprising at all. It was a good spot for me during the week, and it was already coming in by the time I got it up. So hopefully we got on early, because it just the ACA at that price was about 13-2, so just over 6-1. Good spot for me during the week, and it was already decent. And one leg already in. Hopefully West Ham will come good there. That one's still 0-0, just after a little over half an hour gone. And then, as we said, the SerieA game is 1-0 to Roma at half time, but there's been plenty of shots, and Lazio have actually had more of the chances in that game. So, feeling confident about all three of these still, with one down.
Yeah, I'd be very comfortable with the game lined up the way it is. I was watching it there, and it was actually Lazio nearly scored. There's a Roma breakaway. They just ran the whole way down the pitch, right down to the end line, back into the box. The keeper, I think he went for the ball. He probably could have just stayed in his goal, and then it was just a tap in for Mkhitaryan, I believe, just at basically an open goal to tap it into. So quite a straightforward one. I'm a little bit annoyed. I actually backed a treble at a fourfold, but I backed West Ham, Roma, Leicester, and Inter today, and it was like I couldn't believe it. I would have made Leicester should have been slight underdogs. They shouldn't have been 3-1. West Ham, as you described, Gary, I got them at 13-10 this morning. They went off at about evens, like you said. Roma were 5-2 almost when I got them, and Inter were absolutely robbed, but they've lost that now, so I'm pretty disappointed with that one.
I saw that at 1-1. Did it stay 1-1?
No, it went 2-1 Inter, and then an absolute just classic Juventus penalty. He was running. I forget the name of the player. One that goes running to the side of the box, and he just stuck out his leg. The attacker put his leg out into the defender's foot and then just threw himself on the floor. It was never a penalty.
If it wasn't last week, it was the week before that you were talking about a classic Juventus last-minute penalty as well.
Yeah,
going on while we were live.
Yeah, actually, Juventus went on and won after that. They got a late goal to win it, but it did finish 3-2. But it was a disgrace. And actually, they got. I'm not sure if you saw any of it, but the Lukaku penalty. So Chiellini was just his usual kind of, himself and Sergio Ramos style of defending, where a lot of kind of very, very clever with the way they defend. And he was grabbing Lukaku's shirt. He held Lukaku and then threw himself to the floor. And it looked like a free out, but then VAR overruled it. They actually checked it and saw that he was the one holding on to Lukaku's jersey, and they turned it into a penalty. So it's actually pretty nice to see. Yeah, but that's probably why they got a penalty later in the game.
Yeah, you'd wonder, will there be less of those shenanigans now with VAR kind of keeping an eye on that sort of thing?
I don't know. I do kind of like them. I hate when it's against my team. I go mental. But when it's like a neutral or your own team doing it, there's something kind of, what do they call it? The dark arts.
Yeah. Big thing, yeah. I guess it gets rid of the dark arts when everything is, under the spotlight and VAR, like.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what you can see on the screen now. We had the website up, the slats ran through the bed, and now we've got the bets that we picked out here. So Roma, Lazio over 2.5, 4 teams to score, West Ham to win, and then Gary, you've actually got a kind of a same play or a same game multi on for the MLS game that's coming up. If you want to give some through that.
I think I've just improvised a little bit with the the treble that we kind of put up there, because obviously the Sporting game was going to be over by the time the Galaxy game kicked off.
Yeah.
So like I just had a look at it. I think Galaxy are certainly to win the game. If Galaxy are going to win, Chicharito is their main man. I've actually just, for transparency, so I'm not advertising, I've actually backed him to be first goal scorer as well. So I think he's 11-4 to be first goal scorer. So I backed him for that. And then took a little bit of a punt on the corners just to get a little bit of extra value in the bet. But I think it looks very doable. Like, corners are a little bit of a lottery, but a lot of the LA Galaxy games are kind of have a high corner count in them. So yeah, I think it's an interest for the evening, and there's a bit of a juice to it as well. So,
do you expect goals in this match, Gary, in this Galaxy game?
I think there will be. Yeah. Austin were quite cagey in the first couple of games. Obviously, a new team into the MLS. But the last game I saw, I don't know whether it was last week or the week before that, when I watched them, it was kind of end to end. So I think there could be goals, but I would be expecting it to be kind of, I'll probably eat my words now, but I'd be expecting a 3-1, 4-1 victory to Galaxy. I think it'll be tight enough at the start, then the game will start to open up. And Galaxy could pull a couple clear, and then Austin will get a consolation. So that's kind of my prediction for the game based on what I've seen of the team so far this season. But obviously it's still kind of early in the season to be having really, really firm and strong opinions. So we'll see how today goes.
It is tricky so early in the season. Like you're trying to see patterns in such a small subset of games, and kind of trying to pick form based on a few matches, and particularly kind of home and away form. Might have only played 2 or 3 games, either at home or away.
You get that. Obviously, with the MLS, it's a different time of the year, but always like August, September in the Premier League and SerieA, and you're looking at it and you're going, Everton are one to stick out for me, and you're like, are Everton really? Is this going to be the year Everton really run everybody tight? Because they just look great for 2 or 3 games, and then by October you're like, no, it's not the year. Same with Roma for me in the SerieA. You're watching them, and like early in the season, it might be electric. But you've got to kind of say, right, I'll wait till October before I. Same with the MLS. We really want to get to July before you can make any kind of call on it.
Yeah, big thing.
Yeah, and I think with the MLS as well, like obviously with the CONCACAF Champions League, obviously these teams aren't in it, but it adds an extra dimension into the teams that are in that tournament. You don't know whether they're going to play a full strength team. Obviously, if you're in the Premiership or any kind of other European league, you know that the teams have to kind of win every game because only the champions win the title. But obviously in the MLS, it's more based on getting to the playoffs and then picking up your victories in the playoffs, so they can afford to rest a few players and maybe not do as well at the start of the season as they would have to normally in
What's the logic behind having that CONCACAF competition so early in the MLS season? Like,
well, it's late in the other South American.
Yeah, it was really built around the Latin American calendar.
Okay.
Yeah, so most of the Latin American countries have the kind of the 2 seasons a year system. So like they'll have apertura and clausura, like an opening and closing season, which took me an embarrassingly long amount of time to get my head around. But they'll have like September to Christmas, it'll be 1 season, and then there'll be another season after Christmas. So it's done slightly differently. But
I mean, the champions declared in each league twice a year.
Yeah. It's mad. Like in Mexico, the way they do it, and then like relegation is based on a 3-season, like 1.5 year average. So like,
really,
yeah. So stop teams coming up and just getting booted.
Yeah,
back
no, I like that. Yeah,
crap. So you'll see a team, and they could be sort of like nowhere near the bottom, but they had 2 crap seasons before it, and they're doing everything they can to get their average up because they'll be going straight back down. It's gas.
I kind of like that though. That
it's like the parachute payment in the Premier League. It's not, if a team gets promoted and then gets relegated very quickly, it actually can be quite a handicap to them as opposed to anything else. So they get, they got to take on a lot of expenditure that maybe they can't afford. So
Yeah, it could be more damaging than not getting promoted at all. Like,
yeah, and if you're crap over 3 seasons, well, then you probably deserve to get relegated anyway. So, you know.
But just something about that you don't get to be champion for a full 12 months. That, you know, I know it's completely what we're familiar with, but it just doesn't sit well with, like.
Yeah, it is a strange feeling, like, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of devalues it somehow, like, you know, that way. Obviously, I mean,
it's less stressful, that's for sure, because you know if you're watching, and you probably know it with your own teams as well as I would, Gary, that you got high hopes coming into the season start, and then by October you're like, well, this season's a write-off, so better just start hoping to get into the top 8 and maybe get Europa League. Becomes your only realistic kind of victory by the time you get to October or November. And that produces a kind of nearly angry passion that fans in Europe get. Where with these ones, it's like, oh, well, if you're crap in October, you just, well, just wait January and we go again, you know.
And what sort of numbers are in these leagues? Like, you know, I presume it's not like 20, the Premier League or that sort of. Is it smaller leagues and then fewer games in each season?
There'll be a few, but it might, like, slightly fewer teams. Could be 18 teams. So it's not that much less, but they don't have any of the cups and stuff like that. Okay. And in some cases, they'll only play. They might only play. You wouldn't necessarily play every team twice, but say I know in Mexico it's 18 teams, and they play them home and away, or they'll play them home before Christmas and away after, and then they'll have playoffs. Or they have playoffs, by the way, as well in all of those. So it's not just finish your season.
What's going on at all? So
yeah. And just by the way, we're not doing the £20 challenge anymore these days. But if I was, I'd be looking at a couple of line kind of in-play bets here stand out to me. More goals in the Roma game seem generously priced. I think Gary in the West Ham match, it's outside evens now for 2 goals in that. I know it's 0-0 at half time, but you know there's no pressure on anyone, so I think it could open up as it drags on.
Yeah, like I've just been watching it here as you guys were kind of talking, and so I've watched the first half basically, and the first 10 minutes I was actually worried about the recommendation of West Ham because Brighton were on top and they had a few chances. But since then, like 35 minutes of just West Ham dominance it's been, and particularly the last 5 minutes before half time, West Ham looked to have a good penalty shout or 2 maybe, and we're getting into really, really good positions without troubling the goalkeeper. Again, it's one of those, if you looked at the stats, you probably wouldn't think that they were dominating as much as they were because they weren't getting shots on target, but they were getting a lot of balls across, from both wings, coming in at pace at about the penalty spot or 6-yard box. And all they needed was a touch to score a goal.
It's going to be one of those ones that lines up. They have 2 shots on target and score both of them. That kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and as I said, stats aren't everything, especially when you're watching it on a bookie site or something like that. You're not watching the game. But I think if there's a goal early in the second half, like there'd definitely be 2. It's a very open game, and as I said, West Ham had a shout there for a penalty or 2. So yeah, an early goal in the first or second half should open things up.
I know.
Sorry, Slats. I see we got a few people watching across YouTube and Facebook. So let us know in the comments if you've watched any of the games today, what your thoughts are, or what games you're going to be watching for the rest of the evening. We'd love to hear your thoughts and chat about those. Yeah, and also get involved, guys. Let us know what you're backing today. So our main bet there is on screen. As I said, I've backed Chicharito as well for first goal scorer in our main game, which is at LA Galaxy versus Austin. But let us know what you're backing. The whole kind of theory behind this is we'll give our insights. We'll all cheer on the bets together. So if you guys have bets, let us know them so we can cheer them on as well. Must be about time for the LA Galaxy game to kick off. You think so? I'm not seeing it yet. I've got it lined up here, but there's nothing happening.
It's still a mystery, right? I mean, there seems to be no official.
Yeah, Gary's theory before about the the previous game. Yeah, that seemed pretty reasonable. But
yeah, I think it's been knocked right though.
It's not holding up now. No.
Yeah, and I mean, I haven't actually measured is it always like 25 minutes? It seems to vary a bit, though, doesn't it?
I think it does vary. Yeah, it's strange. It's a strange one. Very strange.
If anybody knows, who's watching, let us know what the story is. I mean, these games, the LA Galaxy game, advertised for a 8:30 p.m. GMT kickoff, but 20 minutes later, and there's no sign of it starting. It's not something we're used to in Europe, anyway.
No, and if you were going to have to guess which, would it be European or American sports that were going to be kicking off at randomly late times, you'd absolutely put your money that it'd be the European sports.
Oh, definitely.
It's kicking off here now again in Rome, by the way. Just a heads up, so I'll be tracking that for the foreseeable.
You were saying, LB, we're not doing our €20 challenge anymore, but just the way my betting account has ended up, unless our treble, our Betalong treble comes in, I just had a tenner left sitting in it. So I'm doing my own very real €10 challenge because I have zero left to count if this doesn't come off. So I've thrown it on a first half goal in the Rio Ave Porto game in Portugal. So it's about 20 minutes in. It was like 1.76 for a first half goal. So that would put me up to 1760 if it comes in. Fingers crossed.
Just when you said that there, it made me think I saw something earlier. The over-under line for the Oklahoma Thunder season was 22.5. Did you see this, lads? Or did I even send it on? So their over-under was 22.5 for the season. And after 47 games, they had 20 wins and 27 losses. So they were 20 and 27. And they had 24 games left in the season. And in the last 24 games, they went 1 and 23 and fell below the line. Yeah.
I saw they were on a bad run. That's unbelievable. 1 and 23.
1 and 23. Yeah, that's just you'd be spending that money if you had backed that.
Definitely, and you wouldn't even cash out because you're just like, that's a certainty. It's like our corners there last week when we got to half time. We're like, oh yeah, we only need like 3 corners in the second half, and then they just didn't come in. You're like, how did that happen to us?
We'll never say that for corners bet again. By the way,
I know. Yeah, don't count your chickens, like.
An early booking for Lazio here in the second half, just a cynical kind of arm across the shoulder, pulling back. So at least it's a fiery start. So
yeah, but it's starting to get reminiscent of our game last week when our treble was going to come in. We just needed, we needed Lazio to win, right, against Fiorentina. They were down 1-0 and we needed them to win with both. And then the next thing was yellow card after yellow card.
We've kicked off, have we? Fantastic.
Kicked off in LA, yeah. So
22 minutes after, it was pretty much just 20 minutes after the advertised kickoff time.
LA actually nearly scored after 90 seconds. Yeah, good that it's underway. And it wasn't Chicharito, so I'm glad they didn't score.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing worse than that. I probably have it more in rugby bets than in football bets, but like a first try score, and it's a really early, scrum or maul gets pushed over, and you're just like, God damn it. Like, my winger's never going to be getting near this ball now.
My winger was never mixed up in that one.
Yeah.
And it's usually the team, I do tend to back first try scores for the team I'm supporting in the game, and it tends to be the team against.
When you say tend, I would say 100% of the time, ever. You've only ever backed your own team.
Yeah, okay. I mean, outside of neutral matches where, you know what I mean, where I'm not particularly, following either team or backing either team. But I mean, if it's a Munster or Irish game, it just feels wrong to be backing the other team to score the first try.
Yeah, big time.
It's really weird in this game because LA Galaxy's home jerseys are white and their away jerseys are kind of green and black. And the away jersey for Austin is green and black. But Austin seem to be wearing their white kit, which is their home kit, and LA are wearing their away kit, which is totally strange to me. But
that's another one for anyone in the comments. Let us know, is that maybe the kind of the standard MLS approach to it, or certainly seems a bit funny.
Again, in rugby terms, it is the away team wear the home kit and the home team wear their second kit. It's not called home and away because it doesn't function that way. But yeah, the home team wear their second kit and the away team get to wear their first kit. And that was based just on kind of being pragmatic about it, like that, that you didn't want your traveling team to have to bring two kits in case they were clashing. Like a touring side would always just get to wear their jersey that they traveled with. You wouldn't want them having to travel with more than one kit.
I feel like so much of rugby's culture is based on like back in the day when lads were just getting on boats and heading off to play who they could ever like. If a team turns up to play us, we'll stop drinking and play them. I suppose
making up the rules as they go along just because they want to session or something.
No, well, I think it makes complete sense. Like, as you're saying, lads, sure, the team at home are like it's easier for them to do it.
Yeah.
But even on like if you go on to MLS .com, MLSsoccer.com and get the lineups, they have the little kind of aviators for each of the players, and they have Galaxy in the white shirts and Austin in the green and black shirts. So it's just odd to be like looking at that and going,
it's almost perfectly opposite. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's a strange one, but if anybody
that's
knows,
the sort of one. If you're watching it in the pub or something, only had half an eye on it, you definitely get it wrong. You'd be cheering your team's early goal and then realize you're 1-0 down.
Yeah, exactly. Because I actually have it on a small enough screen here. So if they if I hadn't zoomed in, I think it was Chicharito zoomed in on. I saw the Herbalife, so I was like, oh, that's Galaxy. But I otherwise would have been assuming that the team in white were Galaxy and the team in green were Austin. So.
Yeah, you totally associate Galaxy just with that white kit, don't you? Like
definitely, and like for a long old time as well, they've kind of had that image locked down.
Big time. Since the old David Beckham days.
Yeah, exactly. Such a good marketing move by them, like, and by the MLS in general. After that early kind of bit of action in the first 90 seconds, it's actually been a quite stagnant start here. So
not a word you ever want to hear about a match. Stagnant.
No. Like, so Austin are just kind of playing around with it now at the back. Got the halfway line there, and they've lost the ball. And now it's legit down the left hand side. He's brought it back. Should have probably crossed it in there, but it's back out to legit. Great move. This could be a goal. Oh!
So that was an unbelievable chance.
That was Chicharito as well.
He should have scored that.
Yeah, what's he got 8 yards out?
You know what? I think it came at him too fast, or faster than he expected. And I don't think if you see where his leg struck the ball, it wasn't really. I don't think he was fully expecting it to come that quickly at him.
Yeah, it was great play down the left hand side. I think it was Granser and Legit. I'm probably butchering that guy.
But when you say it, I just think like it was a legit move. You know that way.
That's the exact same thing. Yeah.
I'm definitely butchering it, but his name is Letget, is it? It's Lletget. So I don't even know what language that is. But anyway, great play between him and Granser down the left hand side. I thought that actually when he turned back first time, he kind of wrecked the move because he slowed play down.
Yeah, I thought that too. I thought it was gone.
Managing to get in behind there, and I just can't believe Chicharito didn't bury that. Like, I suppose it was on his left foot, but you still expect a striker his quality to be scoring from whatever it was 8 yards out.
I'm only familiar with the double L, that LL in legit or legit in Welsh, but I'm guessing he's not a Welshman.
No, I doubt it.
I think in Spanish though, it's kind of like a weird J/Y sound.
Yeah, because Llorente that used to play for Swansea.
Yeah, even like Villarreal, no, they wouldn't call it Villarreal.
Yeah.
We do.
So it's probably
I suppose I only see that mid word in Spanish, but like Llanelli in Wales, Llanelli is at the start and toward the end is double L. Like,
yeah, but doesn't it have a different pronunciation depending on where it comes up in Welsh?
Well, I'm sure, yeah.
It must do Llanelli. It's not click. You know what I mean? Like, there's
they don't match the same sound. Yeah.
Another attack here now. Oh, it's cut out.
Roma just had a great chance there as well. Just kind of let it peter out.
This game, the LA and Austin game, has gone like end to end. So
what I'm going to jump on, I might actually back a first half goal in this one. It just looks like it's opening up here very nicely. And I'm going to actually double that with the goal in Belgium.
What type of odds is it, Albi?
I'll tell you now in 1 minute. Maybe I jumped the gun there. It could be crap price.
It's 2 to 5.
2 to 5.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it 10 minutes. Going to give it 10 minutes there, and hopefully, actually, it's already. It's the Belgian match is getting a pretty. It's opening up again. It's still 1-1. Doesn't really do either of them any use. So I could see Anderlecht pushing on for that. The kind of the standard line now, Bet365 is still 3.5, but I think that'll drop to 2.5. One more goal pretty shortly, and I might double the two of those up as soon as that one drops. But like over 2 more goals of that match is 13-8. So it's one goal is 1-3 and 2 goals is 13-8. Kind of a discrepancy there.
I could do with a goal there quickly though, because obviously, for our Betalong treble, we could do with a goal there.
But there's still the treble is only over. I mean, there's still half an hour left. I think there'll absolutely certainly be a goal in this match. I'd be very surprised if there was. I'll probably eat those words now fairly shortly. But it doesn't suit either of these teams to sit back for the draw. So
absolutely certainty is a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, we'll be rewinding back to that clip anyway when it finishes 1-1.
Yeah. So Galaxy just have a corner here to play the short. Kind of messing around with it into the box. Oh, another good chance. There's definitely going to be goals in this game the way it started.
Yeah.
I think that was Chicharito again, was it? That was close.
Yeah.
The cameras zoomed in on him there anyway. So
this is something we've talked about, and actually I kind of have a penciled up article for the site. It'll probably be a couple of months before it ever gets up on the site, but we've talked about this many times that the odds are still drifting for a goal in this match, or for 2 goals, or for 3 goals, whatever your line is. But if you're watching it, like, surely a goal is more likely now than it was 10 minutes ago. Or
I think again we've said before. I think a lot of the odds in these games will be just algo based, unless they see a pile of money coming, and then if they see a pile of money coming, they'll adjust the odds and flick in and probably watch the rest of it. But
Cristante for Roma should have scored. It was one of those ones, when you're a young fella and you're just like messing around with your mates, like the ball was played over the top, kind of was bouncing, so there was a cross back into the box, but it was more of a flick up than a cross, and he chested it down on the penalty spot as good as unmarked on the half volley. But it was one of the ones, like, if you're throwing the ball up to yourself, it was just perfect, and he put it about, I'd say it's probably still traveling, to be quite honest. So oh god, what a chance. 2-0 there would have been really, really. Although I think I'd probably prefer 1-1, but 2-0 would have been nice.
Yeah, I actually went a little bit away from the bet long in the bet that we had up on screen. The travel that I did, including the Galaxy game, I went away from what you had, LB, because when I checked earlier on, the difference in over 2.5 and over 2.5 on both teams to score was so small. Like, I mean, you were talking. I think it was something like 8-13 versus 8-11 or something like that. I just didn't think there was value in adding in the fact that both teams had to score just in case Roma or one of the teams went off and won 3-0. So
actually, there's been quite a few. I'll check it in a moment, but memory tells me that there's been quite a few 3-0s in their recent history. But when I looked at the odds earlier in the week, there was quite a difference between them. Like, slightly above 1-2 compared to slightly below evens. That kind of jump, it was significant enough. But yeah, if they're closely priced, even within 10% of each other, there's no reason to add into both teams to score if it's only for a few extra percentage points, like you said. And like I said, I have 2 recent memories of 3-0 wins in this tie. So good call, Gary.
Yeah, just while we were speaking there, Austin had kind of a minute or two of sustained pressure, and then it ended up being offside during their attack. But it just showed, again, it goes back to what we're saying here about a first half goal. When it gets to 20 minutes on the clock, so there's 13 minutes gone now. When it gets to 20 minutes, I'm going to flick in, have a look, and see what a first half goal is, because there's definitely goals in this game.
It's gone out to 15 now. But yeah, like, you'd expect that to kind of accelerate once it gets up around 20, 20 to 25 minutes, you definitely would be expecting that to be like well above evens.
Yeah, the goal in the Belgian game is gone out to 2-5 for one goal. So whatever there's left there, 28 minutes, 27 minutes. So that the double there is about, what would that be, 6-5? So I think if that gets, like you said, that'll quite quickly start to climb. So I think once it starts to drift, it could hit, nearly 2-1 fairly quickly. I think I'll pounce on it when it gets to about that, maybe 9-5 kind of range. Probably in about 10 minutes.
Galaxy had a good chance on goal there. It was a strike from about 25 yards. But I'm liking the way they're setting up here. They've got a very fluid formation. The left back, Villafana, just seems to be getting forward down the left-hand side all the time. And then the two wingers are switching all the time as well. So they're kind of really fluid formation. And look a good team going forward, but also look shaky on the attack.
I was going to say Atlanta. If Atlanta or Austin had a man in the box there, they were
exactly. Yeah.
It was a good ball in.
But it's mad for a team that look so strong going forward to actually just be so poor in defence. Just sorry, as I'm speaking here, West Ham nearly scored there. Just probably 90 seconds into the second half. Jared Bowen had a good chance. Kind of broke into the box. And he probably could have shot himself, but he went to square back to Mikel Antonio, and the defender then he put it into his own net. So good to see West Ham starting the second half on the front foot anyway.
I think again, like, it shows the value that was up there for them at 13-10 during the week when they're still 11-10 into the second half at 0-0. You know what I mean? Like, the expectation is still, that they're likely to go on and win this game.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, you'd expect a much bigger drift in the odds between kickoff and half time for a 0-0.
Definitely, yeah.
Another pack there in LA. So Granzer has started the game brilliant for LA. Everything they do positive going forward, he seems to just be involved in it. So again, if anybody's looking to have an in-play bet, maybe him for a goal or assist would be a decent bet in my opinion. Obviously, I'm not going to reload because I have Chicharito already, but he's the standout player.
I've seen some pre-game assist markets, but is there in-play assist markets? Have you seen any of that?
I'm fairly sure there is, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll double check now and see. Maybe not in the MLS, but I've definitely seen it in the Premiership. So
I've only kind of seen assists come up in the kind of odds on that markets, the kind of specials and that. On Paddy Power and Betfair, but
I've actually never seen it as an individual market, but maybe I just don't look for it. Roma have a good shot here. I don't know. Oh, yeah, foot wide. But it's not one I'd be looking at. By the way, have any of you seen the ads for the Ladbrokes? I think it's Ladbrokes offer it, the 5-a-side thing. So the Ladbrokes 5-a-side. It's a new way to bet, is what they say. I've never actually looked at it, but it looks like you can kind of pick your players, pick 5 players, pick a few kind of markets, so like stats markets and shots and goals and assists and stuff like that, and build a little team. And then I don't know. It seems interesting. I've never actually looked into it, but it just
is it? I wonder, is it if they get it between them? Like, say you pick 5 players and you're like 3 goals, you go for it.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the gist of it. Yeah,
that'd be the idea, because they're a team, so it's their kind of combined result. Like,
yeah. I'd have to look into it more.
Cool.
I saw it a few weeks ago and then I actually forgot about it. I saw it again today at the end of the cup. So it's just about 1.5-1 here. So 3-2 for a goal in each of those games. The first half goal in Galaxy and just a goal in the Belgian game. So 5 more minutes, I'd say myself, before I on that. There's been no corners yet. Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, I haven't seen. Oh no, there's been a corner each in the Galaxy.
Yeah, there's been a corner each in Galaxy. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's good. What did you make of the cup final earlier, Gary?
I have to be honest, I didn't see the first half. But the second half was brilliant. I thought the action towards the end. I'm a bit Sorry, I thought LA were at the score there, but it's actually gone for a corner. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed that with the VAR decision, as in I didn't think that it was an offside for the Chelsea goal. But then on the flip side, I'm delighted that Leicester won it. It's great to see a team that wouldn't be considered, one of the kind of big six or whatever, win it. And then the ecstasy of the fans and things like that. Just the magic of the cup seemed to be alive and well. And I don't know whether that's because of the fact that COVID and this is the first time the fans have been back in the stadium, and it's just accumulation of that, or whether it was a smaller team being involved in it and actually winning it that added to the occasion. But I thought it was brilliant. The goal that won it was unbelievable strike. Kasper Schmeichel's saves, were unbelievable saves, and then you had just the total drama with the Chilwell goal. I think it ended up being an own goal, but the kind of scramble there being given for Chilwell offside. So yeah, really enjoyed it. I thought it was action packed. How about you?
I thought it was brilliant. I do. Like we talked about it before we came on the air. I do love cup finals. I probably always have kind of liked them, and we talked about it. I think it's just, leagues are great. Obviously, all the sports I love have leagues in it, but just the occasion of a one-off game that means so much to the fans is great. I actually thought it was an entertaining game, even for the first half was scrappy, but kind of entertaining scrappy, like a lot of heavy tackles and kind of niggly stuff. So it's kind of entertaining, if a little bit low on quality compared to the second half. I thought it was an offside though. I mean, I don't like the offside rule the way it is at all today, but in any other game this season that was called offside. His head was ahead of the last man back. So I thought it would have been incredibly harsh to let that goal stand based on the way the game is being ref today. So
I have to admit that I only saw it live. So I saw the goal, and then I saw one replay soon after. But I didn't actually see on the BBC who I was watching with it. They didn't show the lines being drawn, and I thought it was a very quick decision by the refs. But as I said, I was kind of cheering on the underdog anyway in Leicester.
It's one of those ones. It was the millimeters in it. I'd say it was probably 1 centimeter at most between the Chilwell's kind of head. This kind of head neck was leaning over, and I forget who the last man back for Leicester was.
But I think it was Sancho was the last.
Was it? Yeah, there was. But every single one of those has been given offside this season. I mean, it's a different debate if it should be or shouldn't be, but
you just want consistency.
That's it. I think we've talked about it before with rugby stats. Like if the rule is bad but it's refed consistently, you kind of just learn to accept it.
Yeah, you just walk on
Yeah, so I was delighted. I don't particularly like Leicester, if I can say that, but I was very happy for them today. They deserved their win. I think, but they were very, very.
It's
delighted for Brendan Rodgers as well. Actually, in fairness.
Yeah.
For 1 sec. Yeah, I'll be back in a minute.
You said that earlier, Albion. I was kind of like, that's a bit of a strange thing. Like I don't get the logic of not liking Leicester. I think
even I watched it on BT, and the lads on BT sort of said after, like, oh, this is why everybody's second favorite team is Leicester. I was like, they're probably my second least favorite team, to be quite honest about it. I don't know. I don't know. I actually couldn't put a finger on it why I don't like them. But
I think they're good. And I like their ground as well. Like I went to the King Power.
There's no doubt. Like they've
seasons ago with West Ham, and it was great little stadium. It was rocking with the atmosphere. So
yeah, there's no doubt they get a good atmosphere and they have a good connection with the fans. And I actually don't even mind the way they play football. I think it came down to I think Schmeichel is kind of arrogant, and I was like, they'd won one trophy and they were walking around like they were the best team ever. I just kind of sort of soured me on them a bit, but. Yeah, look, they absolutely deserve to win today, and they've been second or third in the league all season. So there's no doubt in the quality they have at the minute. And I wouldn't be that biased that if I don't like a team, I wouldn't celebrate them winning. I was happy they won today for loads of reasons. I'm going to jump on this double here now. It's 2-1.
What double are you doing?
First half goal in the Galaxy game and a goal before the Belgian game ends. So that's.
I've actually done a very similar bet here. I was just about to say the same thing. So I've done a first half goal in Galaxy game and a goal in West Ham.
Yeah.
So 6-4 the double. So 4-5, which I think is a great price in the Galaxy game, considering how it's still 22 minutes left on my clock, and it's been so open. And then the West Ham game is 1-3, but again, I'm watching it here, and Brighton could have scored 2 or 3 goals in the second half, and West Ham could have had 2 in the second half as well. So, yeah, it's really, really open.
Yeah. I've just done that thing again on Bet365. What?
Austin on a brilliant attacker. Oh, that's poor.
Yeah, that was.
They've done better with that. Yeah, there's still been so many shots in that game, though. Like, it's been like what? My count was 12 shots in the opening less than 25 minutes. Like, about a shot every 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, penalty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, penalty.
Penalty, Galaxy.
Chicharito. Come on, Chich.
Oh, you get everything comes good for Carry into one moment. Did you get your bet on?
Yeah, I got bet on. Yeah, 6-4.
That's some result for you there. Well,
yeah,
if he scores,
I need him to put it away. So I have him at 11-4 first goal scorer, and then obviously have him in the treble. And I've done the best at 6-4 for 1 goal in the first half here and a goal in the West Ham game. So I'm hoping that Stuyver doesn't pull off a save here and that Chicharito is able to.
Genk should have scored against Anderlecht as well, by the way. They really should have. Oh, God. It ended up going just wide, but.
Did you not get yours on, LB?
Did, yeah. Sorry. I was just going to say, I did the stupid Bet365, so I actually was going to put in the. Let's just watch this penalty first. And then
watch the penalty first. Like, Chicharito got involved in a bit of aggro there that I don't think you need to get involved in. Like,
no.
Take the ball, score.
Pressure's all on him.
Yeah. To keep
you're the defending team,
psyching him out as well. Like,
yeah, if you're Austin, that's what you want. Like, get him riled up, get him. Oh, God. He looks a bit nervous as well.
God,
I knew it.
The writing was on the wall.
He just looked so nervous running up for that.
Oh my God.
I think that's why you need your captain to get involved. Like, even if he's your best player, if he looks rattled, just swap him out because there's no. Oh, that's it.
I think it's why we need to start backing penalty misses on every game that we're tracking.
So for anyone who's new to the show or hasn't watched in a while, we have an unbelievable track record here on SportsRunDown Betalong to missed penalties or to watch missed penalties happen during the stream. At one point, I think we were about 2 out of 9 were scored, 7 out of 9 missed, and I think that brings us up there to 2 out of 10. It's getting,
and it's 3-1. It's 3-1 they give you back penalty to be missed.
It isn't all the ones we've backed either. It's been just games.
Oh no, just in the games.
So some have been good for us and some have been bad for us, but. God, I can't believe that now. I knew that the keeper did well just to psych him out. It was a poor penalty too.
It
looked like it was at a good height for the keeper.
Yeah, and I think those ones were like here's a replay of it. He kind of telegraphed it. Like, I mean, he was looking in that corner. It's a really good save by the keeper anyway to stay on the line and get across. But I mean,
there's really only 2 sections of the goal that the keeper is comfortable saving the ball, and it's that waist high, kind of halfway to the left post, and waist high halfway to the right post. Everywhere else, it's a tough one to save, and that was right into one of those zones.
In Chicharito's, so like Stuyver, I'm not too sure what height he is, but he looks about 7 foot. Like the goal looked tiny with him in goal, like so he was quite daunting presence. But your top man and a guy who wants to be a top man in the MLS should be putting that away.
Yeah, absolutely.
West Ham have a great break here. It's 3-on-3. Antonio, oh God, he didn't do great there. It's kind of just gone away now. But like classic Antonio, he does so well to get into those positions, and then his final ball can just be terrible, you know.
I actually saw an interview with Antonio recently. He's very softly spoken. I didn't expect that. Maybe I'm just judging him for being West Ham. Any of the ones you hear there kind of have harsher accents. but he's very kind of softly spoken. But his interview was really good. It was actually quite interesting how he was saying how poor he was at football when he was younger and the abuse he used to get, and then how people started crawling out of the woodwork then when he managed to start scoring goals.
Yeah,
that kind of makes it sound like there's still a chance for us. You need to go back playing football to see. I might have to get really good at it.
Yeah.
I mean, he started off like right at the bottom. He was playing for Tooting and Mitcham, like probably only about, I'd say, 8 or 9 years ago. He's kind of like a Jamie Vardy story. Just kind of got his act together late in life and has gone from strength to strength. But like,
I feel like I only hear these stories like just when it's slightly too late for me to get my act together and get back playing sport. Like, yeah, he was talking about his time at Reading, I think was what he was in particular talking about. But I do like those players that have had those career jumps. Like Giroud was another one. Like I think before he joined Arsenal, I think he was playing in like the French League 2, and he was on loan to like a division below that stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of them through now, like, because wasn't like Kante was the same, kind of Mahrez was the same. Drogba before that, like Drogba was a right back in like League.
Yeah,
you know. I think he was going to get
Roma should have scored here, by the way. Really should have scored.
Hold on, Chicharito. Oh no. Oh God, here, do we have another chance? Oh, that could be another penalty, is it? Surely that has to go to VAR.
Not giving it anyway.
I think it just might go automatically.
There's a bit of
the players didn't really appeal for it, though, did they?
No, but it looked to me like he clipped his ankle.
Oh, lovely flick.
Oh, nice.
Nutmeg. Back heel nutmeg.
I'd say like the defender is absolutely raging at that, getting nutmegged with it, like basically a Cruyff turn, like.
Yeah. Oh, I missed who it was for Roma. I got distracted by the Galaxy game, but there was a shot right in the box. Oh, is this going to be? This has to be a goal. Oh, corner. Great goalkeeping there by Roma Fazzato, but Roma had a really good chance to double their lead and just absolutely skied the ball. Desperate. 10 minutes to go now in Belgium. Getting ready to eat those words.
Oh God, yeah, there hasn't been a huge amount of shots in the last 10 or 20 minutes in that. Really,
no, but it's been quite open though. It's been up and down, without really producing any shots.
Creating, yeah.
West Ham have a good attack. I actually have to say, like, I'm watching 2 games here. So I'm watching West Ham versus Brighton, or Brighton versus West Ham, and Galaxy versus Austin. And I cannot believe that there hasn't been a goal in both of the games, but especially in either of the games. It's just been so open, so many chances, and there's no goals. It's absolutely crazy.
And they're on a good spell here. Oh no, Boyd, God, a lot of chances spurned in this game. I'd actually add the Anderlecht one into that list, Gary, as well, to be quite honest.
Yeah, hopefully we get a flurry. One of those 5 minutes where there's just goals galore, but
the Roma 2-0. What a goal!
Pedro.
Yeah, don't particularly like Pedro either now, but go on, what a finish! It was actually kind of similar distance to the element earlier. Just the players backed off him, maybe not quite as far out the pitch. The defenders dropped back, and then he just moved it onto his left foot and absolutely buried it around the keeper. Lovely finish.
It is. It's starting to feel a little like that Fiorentina game last week, isn't it? It was probably about this time that they went up.
Yeah.
Lazio.
Yeah. Oh, this is actually worse defending than I thought. He was a bit closer on the edge of the D. The defenders, one guy slipped, I missed who it was, and then everyone else just didn't know where to go once he'd slipped. And I mean, in fairness, Pedro's unbelievably experienced. He just sniffed blood and just absolutely rocketed into the far left corner. Still time, was there yet? 10 minutes, actually, not that much time at all.
Not a huge amount, but maybe Roma kind of sit back on that lead or kind of go to sleep a bit. That's what I suppose we'll hope.
I can't see them defending it too vigorously, though, considering they've nothing really to play for.
Last week, though, when we needed Lazio to score, and they just kind of decided to go for it around the 88th minute, and then there happened to be 4 or 5 minutes extra time as well. So they had a period very, very late where they actually looked like they could have scored a few times.
Yeah.
If they started doing that now, if they gave themselves 10 minutes plus injury time,
yeah, that game last week was so frustrating with Lazio. Like, they just waited till it was nearly mathematically impossible to win and then turned it on and really gave them a go. There's a good chance here. Oh no. How West Ham looking, Gary?
Yeah, they're kind of panicking a bit. So, like, there's still 25 minutes left, but Antonio again had the ball. He got the ball just after the halfway line, was running towards the 18-yard box. Had Benrahma, Lingard, and I think it was Bowen on the inside. Could have passed it to either of them, but went for a shot from about 25 yards and just kicked it straight into the defender. So if you had just laid it off to one of those players, they were in a kind of 3-on-3, 4-on-4 scenario. And maybe could score. Sorry, speaking of scoring, goal for LA Galaxy. It's not
Chicharito, though.
No, it's our mate Leggett.
Leggett. Anyone who's not watching from the start of the show, that looked like the weirdest little in-joke ever. But that's actually... I only looked up. I was watching Roma. Roma nearly went 3-0 up right at the same moment, but they didn't. So do you want to talk us through that goal, Gary?
Yeah, so, I mean, it was basically just a long, straight ball from the centre half from LA Galaxy, just over the top. And the Austin defender kind of went to do a dive and header back to the goalkeeper, missed the ball. Obviously, he was flat out there on the ground. And then it was a pretty simple finish, one-on-one with the keeper. He did well to finish it, but
the defender goes for a diving header back at his keeper, but and he completely missed the ball. But it's so erratic that, like, he could have put that past his keeper had he connected to it.
Yeah, he just seemed.
There's no way that wasn't a soft kind of cushioned pass back. Like, he weighed himself with the ball.
That was a panic, like, new team, not really sure how to. So they're not used to playing together that much. It was poor, or they kind of rush a blow to the head moment, really. Now the old injury to take the attention off himself now.
Yeah, definitely. So, like,
that keeper is a giant.
It would have been so good for the bet if the penalty had been scored now, because I'd really just be waiting on one goal in Roma and West Ham for that treble. But my other one's still alive, where I had the first half goal in this game and a second half goal in the West Ham game. So hopefully West Ham can get a goal.
That's what I was actually saying a moment ago before we got distracted by the penalty. That thing that Bet365 does, where it moves your stake around if a market gets suspended. So I'd actually tried to put on the treble of those two markets and another goal in Belgium, and then one of them went suspended. Whatever happened, my tenner got applied to the double. And then it came back, and then I ended up putting 3 tenors on the different doubles. You know, I mean, the way this became a pattern now. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just me, but I've heard other people complain about it, so I'm not just completely.
No, I've had issues before as well. Like, actually, earlier on today, I had an issue where a bet slip was preloaded and I put on a bet that I didn't want.
Goal in Belgium. Genk have scored. Lovely. Oh, super. So that's 2 of those legs up now. I just knew there was going to be another goal in that game.
So you're waiting on a.
You can be smug about it now again.
Yeah, I knew there'd be another goal in that game.
87 minutes.
Yeah,
I knew
90 seconds left. It's been so open though, and like, anyway, yeah, I'm happy the Genk scored there. And for this,
what are you waiting on, LB?
Well, I got that double in, so a goal in the West Ham match would get me my 3 doubles that I meant to do as a treble, but I'll get the 3 doubles if the West Ham one comes in. Otherwise, I'll just get 1 double of Genk and
surely
Galaxy.
Does that 1 double cover your 3 stakes on the 3 doubles? Not far off it.
Not far off it. I mean, I
don't think it's the first time that Bet365 glitch has worked in your favor, where you're back in that and it's missed out one market and that market failed to come in and your others do, or not that
but that's exactly it. I actually meant to have. There was one I was going to complain to them before about it, but I didn't do it because I'd actually complained to them fairly recently about it, or recent before then, and they'd refunded my stakes, even though the thing had lost. I only realized after it had lost. And I was like, how did this happen? So I thought, right, I'm not going to do it again. And then by the time I let it ride, it actually worked out in my favour because one of the legs lost, so I got the benefit of having the other ones on. Yeah, it's actually not for me.
I was gonna say, I'll be lucky that you said about the bet, like about the glitch. Otherwise, you would have been claiming it as a brilliant betting strategy that you came up with.
Yeah, imagine after timing as well. I know that the bet I said lost, but I actually did a different bet that won.
Yeah, like in this Galaxy game now, Galaxy are just absolutely dominating. So similar to what I said at the start, it could just turn into a romp for Galaxy. So great bit of play there where the ball got put out to Chicharito, actually on the left hand side. He squared it across the box. It went across the 6-yard box, and it looked to be Urjet as well. Again, that could have came in at the back post, but he was just a bit on his heels. He wasn't really expecting. I think he was expecting Chicharito to have a shot rather than square it across the box. So, I said Galaxy are on top, and it wouldn't be a surprise to me if they scored again before half time. It's about 5 minutes left in the first half.
This Anderlecht game is still pretty open. I'm not going to do it, but I'd be very tempted to go another goal there.
3-1 for another goal. At this stage, I think you'd be holding out to see what the injury time is because there's only 90 seconds normally.
Yeah, it could, exactly. If it's 1 or 2 minutes, that 3-1 is stingy out,
You'd be sick, and it'll probably the odds will probably increase.
Roma, by the way, should be 4-0 up. They've had Dzeko just had a lovely shot there, just wide of the post. Very similar position to Pedro's shot, but he just didn't get around it as much. So yeah, unfortunate. Lazio look to be unfortunately shrinking into their shell a bit here, so tough to see the both teams to score coming in. But yeah, a few minutes left there.
Just give a shout out to the viewers again as well. So can see there's a lot of people watching in across the multiple platforms. So guys, you're very quiet tonight. Don't be afraid to get involved. So to let us know what you're watching, what bets you fancy. So anything that we've said, if you agree, disagree, any interaction is good. So get involved in the comments. I said we'll give you a shout out and we can have a discussion on whatever topics you raise. So don't be afraid to get involved.
Yeah, exactly, Gary.
So yeah, just to say that now again, there's another attack here for LA Galaxy. So it's ended up. They're still in the box here. Actually, I thought they lost it, but it was Grandsir again. So I said he for me, Joe. He's man of the match so far. He's been really, really good down that left-hand side. Kind of broke into the box, did a little bit of trickery, lost the ball, could have got a penalty, and then the attack kind of failed or faded out then. But I said he's been really good down the left-hand side, and I might have a pop off him for an anytime goal. I'm going to go in now and see what price he is to score anytime because. Said I've been impressed with his first half performance so far. Anyway,
this Belgian game, there's 5 minutes injury time, and it's just about 5-1 for there to be a goal in that 5 minutes. Now, one of those.
It's a bit on the stingy side. I'm going to let it pass. Roma corner here, actually very nice corner into the well defended in fairness.
So Grandsir is 6-1 to score anytime, so that's been enough to lure me in. So I've backed him there, anytime goal scorer.
Nice. If West Ham score here, I'm going to be so sick about that Inter match because the suspect or biased home team bias, big team bias, refereeing. Because I got Leicester and I got the early payout on Roma as well now with the 2-0 up. So
I think that home team bias is still a factor without the crowd on the refs back.
I mean, based on the decisions in the match today, yes. But in general, yeah, I'd agree with you. It's probably not as much as it was before. But the decisions today were absolutely dire. Dzeko's getting kind of a huge reception from the substitutes bench as he's going off here in like the 89th minute. Wonder is there? I think he might be leaving Roma based on this. Yeah. I mean, look, I hadn't heard anything about it. I'm not sure if you had, Gary, by any chance.
No, I heard. Was it in the summer or at kind of January time? There was rumors of him moving back to the Premiership, but I thought
he's a talent in fairness.
So yeah, but I think at the stage of his career, Italy or Spain suits him better than the rough and tumble of the Premiership. Even just recovering from those games in the Premiership where you're basically getting kicked about for 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's definitely a really good player, and as you said, he's a talent. He'd be a loss to Roma.
Yeah, they're lining up here and giving him a kind of like a birthday bumps type of, I don't know how to describe it. A lot of pushing and slaps around the back of the head, but he there's obviously something happening. This game has gone suspended as well. It's probably too late for Lazio here, even though they have a free kick.
I think it's just suspended because it's so late in the game.
Yeah,
again, Betfair seem to be a team or a bookmaker that do that. I think Betfair usually let the markets go until there's like 20 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, no, the exchange.
Like 88, 89 minutes, just they pull stumps and that's it.
The exchange goes pretty much right up until the final whistle. Bet365 seem to strip back their markets, and now, like with just over a minute of injury time in the Roma Lazio game, you can still bet just on the third goal market. So like it's 1-25 for no third goal, 14-1 for Roma, 16-1 for Lazio. And that market usually stays up until about 30 seconds left time. And then I've seen the sports book on Betfair, like once the match goes into injury time, it seems to suspend all markets. But the exchange, if you're looking for a late bet or a late kind of hedge, it's a good one to keep its markets open right until the whistles.
Speaking of lateness, Austin had a really, they haven't been in this game at all last 15 minutes, but a really good attack there, an overload. So basically, they had the ball down the right wing, and it was so the winger had it, but there was 3 players for Austin in the box, and only 2 defenders for Galaxy. And as the ball was coming in, it looked like it was going to fall to an Austin player, and the defenders did very well to clear it. But that would have been an absolute kick in the teeth for Galaxy, considering how they've dominated the first half. If it had gone in as 1-1,
it probably would have been good for the game, though.
I'd say it would have, yeah. But it's good for a neutral, as you say. But if you were in the LA Galaxy dressing room, you'd be sick to the stomach that you weren't ahead, West Ham, again, just in the West Ham game, just seem to be panicking a little bit when they get to the final third. So they've still got 12 minutes left here, and they're having a lot of the ball, but they just don't seem to be playing the right passes when they get to the final third. And there's actually been a very soft free given there against Mikel Antonio, which I don't think Moyes is too happy with, but fingers crossed West Ham can still get over the line. I need a goal in here for my double. So obviously I had the double on first half goal in the LA game, and then just like any goal in Brighton West Ham. So for that, any goal will do. But obviously considering West Ham season ticket holder and I recommended West Ham for our treble, I'm hoping that they can get the win.
That SerieA game is over, Albi, is it?
Yeah, I finished 2-0 there. Watching the anthem play afterwards.
That's Lazio letting us down again. Disappointing from them, really.
Very, and they actually had a couple of chances in the first half. We weren't on air for them. We didn't get a chance to talk about them, but they actually hit the crossbar at one point, and they probably should have been 1-0 up before we even came on air. So it makes it even more disappointing, really.
I'm pretty sure that's there. They've no shot now of Champions League football. They have to win that, right?
The Roma players were really celebrating at the end there. So they were obviously pretty happy to have cost their rivals the chance at Champions League football. So if we're going down, you're coming with us, kind of thing going on there. So that's Lazio 6th and Roma 7th. They're actually looking at the table there. They're both official finishes. There's no way they change unless Lazio are 6 points behind Napoli, but they're 35 goals behind them in the goal difference. So I think we can write that one off, even if they win their last two and Napoli lose their last two.
Sorry, while you were talking there, you might have seen me throw my hands in the air. Fornals had a great opportunity from basically Soufal down the right-hand side, cut back on his left foot, crossed the ball in, and like Fornals was in a bit of an awkward position because he was his back was facing the goal, but he had time to take a touch. If he had taken a touch, he could have swiveled on the ball and got a shot off. But instead of doing that, he tried to do a back heel while he was in the air, and missed the ball. But he was standing on the 6-yard box. Definitely should have did better with the chance. And West Ham could live to kind of rue that. Again, it comes back to just having a bit of composure and not rushing things, because they're a better team here by miles. They're having the better chances, more of the ball, everything. It's just they're kind of panicking when they get into a situation where if they have a little bit of composure and control, I think they'll get the goal. It's a frustrating watch here. Good point. Well made, Gary. Thanks, lads.
There's still a bit of time for you.
No, there is, yeah.
Looking a bit ominous now.
Obviously, this is the last Roma home game of the season, right? They've played 37 games, so it looks like it. They're going over, they're celebrating in front of the curva, like the fans are there, but there's no fans there. They're doing the bowing and the running up and stuff like that. Close to it, but there's nobody there. It's so surreal. Now they're all putting on t-shirts. I can't read what they say. Didn't say that, but
no. That's all. I'm going to get a t-shirt with that one for next week if West Ham don't score.
I see it there.
Yeah, Ben Rama down the right-hand side, crossed the ball in. Dawson gets up, edge of the 6-yard box, expecting to bury it in the corner. It's just gone like a yard wide. But they're knocking on the door here, West Ham. I think they'll get one more kind of clear-cut opportunity in the next 8 minutes, and they need to take it. But I think that was it's a brilliant opportunity to score.
Yeah,
he knows himself.
Sorry, Gary. I'm ahead of you on the thing, so I thought you were actually talking about something else there.
I know what LB is thinking as well.
Yeah. Sound lads. I'll just wait here to see what's happening.
Did we lose Gary there? Oh no, sorry.
You're not up to speed yet. Sorry, I thought you were.
I thought it was great because the odds had moved considerably for the goal, but yeah. It's a disappointing for the West Ham kind of started panicking, Gary, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
It's been if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's been going so well for them all season.
Yeah, it's actually just come up on my screen there, Danny Welbeck. That's not good. That wins me my bet, but
your goals bet,
yeah. Not what I wanted. Yeah. I don't suppose there's any chance of it being offside, no?
No.
It's been given all right.
Yeah,
as soon as I saw the goal, you made that noise, and I thought, he's after seeing it. But after a few minutes, it took me a few seconds to realize it was something else.
I'm on Sky Go here, and I'm obviously, as you can tell, probably 2 or 3 minutes behind the actual live action. So it's a great finish by Welbeck, and I actually do like Welbeck, but West Ham would be kicking themselves here. It's just such a good season, and it's going to end it's still going to be a great season, but it's going to end on a negative note, which you don't want,
No, and we've seen it with like the likes of Leicester, Burnley. I remember one year, teams like West Ham that don't have huge resources or massive squads and stuff like that, and they get into the Europa League, and it's actually very, very difficult for them to handle it. Like even teams that have won the league, well, obviously not won the league the season before, but won it in a couple of seasons before, they really struggle in the Europa League because it's just such a slog. So some drop down and I think West Ham probably deserve Champions League football based on large stretches of this season. So
yeah, but I think even even Europa League is in doubt now, because Liverpool have obviously overtaken them now, and Liverpool will definitely get fifth. So it's down to West Ham and Tottenham. So Tottenham have a game in hand, and so if they win that, they go ahead. They're 2 points behind with a game in hand, so they play tomorrow. So West Ham really need a favour tomorrow. If Tottenham beat Wolves, which you'd expect them to do, it puts them down to 7th, which now then is the Conference League as opposed to the Europa League. So
with an English Champions League winner and
I thought actually I was on the same page.
The cup. Yeah, would there not be an extra spot moving down the table there for them to get Europa League?
Yeah, but I thought that was down to 6th. So 5th and 6th are.
Yeah, but what'll happen is, all right.
So I think it's 7th is the I think so anyway.
Right.
Maybe the rules changed this year, and I actually missed that Europa Conference thing, so I could have it wrong. But I know in other years it went to 6, and then the cup winner would push it down to 7, and even one year it went to 8, I think, because a non-top 4 team. Champions League, I think.
Van is getting his first goal for West Ham. Brilliant finish from outside the box. It's probably the first time this season that I haven't been tipping Ben Rama up for either shots on target or a goal, because he's such a good player. I really like him. It's taken a while to settle into the team. But Kufal crossed the ball in. Boga headed out. He's about 22 yards out, and he's just curled into the corner. It's unbelievable finish. So there's still 3 minutes left in this game. Plus injury time, or say 2 minutes plus injury time. So they could still win it yet, and that's obviously a really, really important goal, because it means that the Tottenham win tomorrow. Like if Tottenham win, they'll only be level on points with West Ham, as opposed to going a point ahead of them. So it could be a really, really
based on your watching. Do you think they have a chance here, West Ham?
As I said earlier on, they were just panicking, but they were getting into, they're attacking now here. So Miguel Antonio has the ball again. He's kind of panicked there. I don't know what price West Ham are.
9-1.
And if you're betting on them, it has to be low stakes because you've got 90 seconds left in normal time. But it's not beyond the realms of possibility for me, and they'll be kicking themselves that they haven't won this game comfortably, because they could have been 2 or 3 up with a little bit of composure.
Yeah, they're 9-1 to win from here, Gary.
I probably want a little bit more than that given the time left, but I haven't seen injury time or whatever. So
no, neither have I now, to be honest.
What's left? What's left there?
It's gone. It's in 90 minutes and 20 seconds gone.
Yeah.
3 minutes added on. Forget it. I'm not going near that.
Yeah, 9-1 or 10-1, whatever. Fair enough for one. A bit more injury than that.
Yeah. So that's your tipster table. Am I right in thinking that the NBA season is soon to wrap up, at least the regular season?
Regular season finishes tomorrow night. Then there's about a week break.
Handball. Has to be a penalty. It has to be a VAR on that. That looked like a handball.
No, don't think so. Brighton are in possession here, and it's 14-1, so I don't think so. That's very harsh. I don't know if that gives it a review, but that really warranted a review at least.
Sorry. Yeah, no. So, like West Ham are going to be kicking themselves after this game. Just they should definitely have won it. But again, it's still in their hands, the Europa League. So that's the main thing. If they can hold on here. I'm sorry to anybody listening in that's had to put up my shouts down the microphone over the last couple of minutes. So.
Not to worry. Actually, it was nice today. I'm not sure if anyone watching the FA Cup final earlier, but the crowd, like, you know, we've talked about it. The fake crowd noises are all slightly off. You know what I mean? The jeers don't come exactly the way you'd expect them to come or whatever. It was great to see the match today in proper crowd noises. Obviously, like 20 odd.
There a bit of noise out of them. I'd say they were.
Oh, it was honestly, it was like a full stadium in normal times. The commentator said it. So he's actually grown on me as a pundit is Rio Ferdinand, and he kind of said it. He was like, you know, a lot of fans in the Premier League probably have taken the league kind of complacently. Whatever word he used, they've taken it for granted. Yeah, taken it for granted over the last few years. He said, now, you know, 18 months without being able to go to a match, that's probably never going to happen again. You know, you're going to realize what it's like that you might never get back into one of these stadiums. So, I mean, there was 22,000. I know it was a cup final, so it's going to be more than a normal game. But 22,000 people there today. And Wembley's not good for the atmosphere, the way it's built. Like it loses a lot of the noise. And it was rocking there today with whatever it was.
The limbs when Tielemans scored, like, I mean, that was unreal. Like, it just, it brought back so many memories of being in away ends and things like that, and just seeing goals go in and go mental. So,
was there any basis of the ticket sales to ensure that, you know, big fans were getting in there? Like, did it go to
6,000 each to each club, and they usually give them to like their goal level season ticket holders, and then whatever there was 10,000 VIP and, you know, what do they call them, Club Wembley people. So just people who give money to the sport, I suppose.
Those ones can sometimes be a bit corporate, like you know, not passionate fans, but I mean, even if it was 6,000 from each side anyway, you know, 6,000 plus whatever of the rest, like.
Yeah, no, it was good atmosphere there today. None of the upper tier was used at all, and it worked quite well. It was actually quite, you know, on top of each other. I didn't expect that for, you know, 25% capacity, but
I was actually surprised by that as well, how close they were together. But I mean, I think we just have to get back to normal now. And I actually like, I can't wait.
I would have thought the idea with the reduced capacity though was that they would spread them out a bit, like that they would have seats free around every kind of.
Yeah, no, I would have assumed that as well, but that wasn't the case at all.
Yeah, but
I think everyone had to be vaccinated, so I think that was probably part
of it. And like they're doing trials on concerts and stuff. Like during the Brit Awards last week, there was no social distancing at that, so it was just like a normal concert or whatever. And they've had a few other events where it's just been no social distancing. So when you go there, you have to do, you know, those rapid tests. And then if you're negative, you're allowed to go in. If you're positive, obviously you have to go home. So,
what a bad end to your night. Sorry, you can't come in. Andrew COVID.
I know,
Go home.
Underage, you kind of turned away with your fake ID. You're just like, oh, God. Not that I would ever be doing that. My mother's watching it.
That's what the lad used to tell you about, Gary, was it?
Yeah. I used to hear those stories. Or, you know, if you're like in a big group and one person got turned away, you're just like, oh, God, go and try and find another place now. So, this game looks like it's going to get back underway. The LA Galaxy Austin game.
I'm just going to vote for 1 minute there before it does. I'll be back.
Yeah. There'll be, if you any view on bets. So obviously I've got Sam Grants here now in the second half, 6-1 to score anytime.
So over 2.5 is 10-11, and I mean that could have been over 2.5 in the first half, and then 10 corners, like over 10, so whatever that is, 10.5 corners is 6-5. So that double is it's outside 3-1. It's a good bit outside 3-1 for that double. So I've just put a small stake on that just for a bit of interest. In terms of the scorers, I actually kind of like, I can't pick anyone in particular, but I like Austin to score, and I think their players are fairly generously priced to score. So I might back someone to score there, but I can't decide yet. So I might give it 5 minutes into the second half and then get involved in a goal scorer market.
So, like, I'm looking at it here, and Hernandez anytime is 12-5, which I think is big. I agree with you. Over 2.5 is a decent bet as well. And the corners, I think, looks a decent bet as well, considering Joe Austin are going to have to come out. Over 9.5, over 9 corners and over 10 corners are decent bets to me as well. A treble of Hernandez to score anytime over 2.5 goals in the match and over 9 corners is 6-1. If anybody is interested in that, so
yeah. I think if this comes back, here we go. We're back live again now. I'm going to give it 5 minutes. Like I said, I might back Diego Fagundes to score for Austin. The odds, it's gone suspended now, so I can't see any odds, but I'd say it's got to be 4-1 based on what I was looking at a minute ago. So that's my expectations for the next few minutes.
Yeah, it's mad. All the markets have gone suspended just at the start of the second half. So,
and any of the matches tomorrow, or anything the UK racing tomorrow that's caught your eye? You've been on a nice bit of form with the UK racing lately, so going from knocking on the door to getting through the door. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, as I said, like for anybody else watching in or anybody new watching in that wasn't at the start of the show, we'll probably just recap on the day's racing. So,
your rack is up on the screen there, Gary, for anyone who's now watching us.
Yeah, so like obviously, if you're watching in for the first time, you don't know who we are. Sports Rundown. Essentially, what we'll do is we put our bets up. So anything that we're backing, we put up on our website, SportsRundown.com. So there's regular content going up there. Soccer content for MLS, for SerieA, English Premier League, and then I also do kind of articles on English horse racing and some US horse racing. And then today, or well, yesterday in the horse racing, we had 3 second places. So I advised 2 of them each way. I probably should have advised the 3 of them each way. If you did an each way double on them, it returned 24-1, just for the each way portion. So I actually did that myself at a very low stake. I had like £5 each way treble on, and I was 24-1. So knocking on the door there, if the bet had came up, I think it was something like, I don't know, $2,000 of a payout of £10. So it would have been a big one. And then today, advised the treble. So William Buick was on 3 horses at Newmarket, and the 3 of them won. So it turned into a fairly decent day. Tomorrow, I don't have anything. There's decent racing, but I haven't had a chance to go through the cards properly. So I'll probably leave that off. And the next article that I'll be looking at, I'm actually going to Sandown Park on Thursday. So it'll be my first time back at a sporting event.
How many people are going to that, Gary?
So I'm not exactly sure. The rule is that you can have 4,000 or half your capacity, so 10,000. So 4,000, or if your capacity is over a certain amount, it goes to 10,000. So I think if your capacity is over like 20,000, you can have 10,000 there. So I think there might be 1,000, but I'm not 100% sure. I got a ticket, so I'm happy about that. I get to have a few beers, a little bit of food, watch the racing. Looks to be some decent races on as well. So won't know the declarations until probably Wednesday morning. But as I said, I'll have an article up for that.
You were like a kid at Christmas, getting up, watching the declarations on Wednesday, and then getting ready to go on Thursday.
Yeah. Like I can't wait. It's an evening meeting as well. So like the first race is at in the UK, 5:25 in the evening. So it's nice that
perfect.
You don't have to take a day off work or anything like that. So really, really looking forward to it. But there's kind of a lull in the top quality racing for a couple of weeks because the Epsom Derby is coming up in 2 weeks' time. So that's the next really big, and then Royal Ascot will be after that. So there's going to be a lot of content going up for those events.
So actually, speaking of lulls, right? This is just something for any of our viewers, and we'll get this up on the site fairly soon as well. There's obviously a kind of a lull in the racing that Gary mentioned, and then the football as well. So the European football ends in a little bit under 2 weeks, and then obviously the MLS has its break, and the Euros don't start until the 10th of June. So there'll be a bit of a gap in the kind of the output from ourselves, certainly the live tips and stuff like that, from sort of late May until the middle of June, because there's a lot of the big sports are kind of taking their holidays or breaks or whatever is going on. So just getting that out there.
Yeah, but I think it's still worth checking in on the website. Joe, there is League of Ireland, and we're all League of Ireland fans here. And then I will be like, even though there's not top quality, there will be some decent meetings that we'll be putting up some tips on the horse racing for. There's obviously in the US like the Preakness Stakes and things like that coming up as well.
We'll be getting ready for the Euros. Actually, that's another thing that'll be up there for sure. The
exactly, yeah.
Anti-post.
Yeah, and we do get bookmaker offers again. So this is mainly for people based non-US. So if you're in Canada, the UK, Europe, we'll have bookmaker offers. So if you go onto the website there at the moment, there are bookmaker offers. But we've actually got a great offer coming out tomorrow. So if you look at our socials, on the website, you'll see it, which is if you sign up to our partner, William Hill, and bet £10, they'll give you £50 or euro or like CAD or whatever your currency is. So bet a denomination of 10 and they'll give you 50 in free bets. So I said that'll be out on the socials tomorrow and up on the website. So if you do fancy a few free bets, keep an eye out on that.
Yeah, it's a generous one for sure.
Just back to the game here. LA are on a good attack. Just got out for a corner, but solid enough attack there. Probably should have done better because they had a bit of an overload. It looked to be 4-on-3, and they slowed the game down.
It's very end to end here, still, really, isn't it? I mean, definitely chances of both sides. You'd be expecting more goals here for sure.
Yes, an outside evens for another goal, or for 2 goals, seems pretty generous.
Yeah, I would think so based on what we're seeing, and the fact that again the MLS seems to be heavy on second half goals over first half goals.
At the moment, I'm sticking on my Samuel Granser bet. I'm a bit disappointed I didn't get on the corners, Albie. So Slats, you kind of missed it, but I was mentioning the corners as a bet at half time. So I think it was 4-6 for over 9, and 11-10.
11-10, yeah.
Over 10 corners, and there's 7 at the minute. So, you'd be on track for both of those if you had backed them. But it went suspended, and then there was a corner earlier on. So, I didn't get a chance to get on it myself. Hopefully, some of the viewers that are watching in had a chance to pull the trigger on that. If you did pull the trigger, let us know again so we can cheer that on for you.
Yeah, just a reminder, the double I put on was 2 more goals and over 10 corners. So,
what odds is that double be?
Just outside 3-1. So, 3.2 to 1 or something like that. It was 4-5, 11 to 10.
A goal soon will make that look fairly good. If you can get a goal kind of the next 8-9 minutes, and give you around the hour mark. You only went on 1 goal and a couple of corners. It'll look good. Actually, speaking of goals, here's a great 3-on-3 here. Oh, that's bad by Chicharito. Chicharito actually had a really, really poor game, in my opinion. Obviously, he's missed a penalty, but a couple of times he's had a chance to play a fairly simple pass, and he's lost the ball.
Yeah, he's not had one of his better days at all.
Still on the attack here, Galaxy. They had the ball. Granser back to Villanfana, and the ball was crossed in and lost. But yeah, I've been really impressed by Granser and Villanfana as a left wing and left back for Galaxy. The 2 of them look like decent players and pretty players to get in your fantasy team if you're playing MLS fantasy this season.
Yeah, actually the Austin back line is pretty solid as well, though. They're making Galaxy look quite poor at times. So I kind of like to see that for a new team that they're quite solid.
Yeah, good. Like they are good at they kind of intercepted a lot. Like they've been open, but they haven't looked like conceding. That way. There's been a lot of those overloads where Galaxy have had 3-on-2s or 4-on-3s, but the defenders have managed to do well and get in and nick the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Like back the Sporting KC v Austin game during the week. Austin went up 1-0 after 7 minutes, and when it was getting to half time, I think it was over evens for 2 more goals. And I backed that, and there was nothing for so long in the second half. I ended up going to bed and kind of giving up on it. And then woke up that Austin conceded in the 82nd and 90th minute. So the bet came in nicely. It was nice to wake up to a win that you went to bed expecting it was definitely lose. But
so often those late night ones, just you go to bed and you wake up with nothing in the account.
Yeah, I've had those with American football from the opposite perspective, where you'd be staying up and you're watching the late game on a Sunday or on Monday Night Football, and it better be going well in the first half, and you just fall asleep on the couch, and you'd wake up and you'd be like, "Oh, I'll just check my betting account to see if it win," and it didn't. You're like, "How did that not win?"
Just refreshing it, going, it must have won, but
going in and checking to make sure it had I mustn't have settled yet.
Yeah.
Actually, can't wait for the NFL to start back now as well. So won't feel it till it's back.
Monday nights will be gone.
Thursday nights will be gone. Sunday nights will be gone. So you have to put in the groundwork during the summer now to make sure you have the permission slip to watch all the sport.
Fully free from August to Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Game's got
gap there. Yeah, I was just going to say, it's after slowing down. Hopefully it doesn't stay like that too long.
Kind of like the games that start really fast just have these lulls in the middle where you're just kind of willing something to happen, but Galaxy are just playing around their back four at the minute. It's strange.
An Aston goal now would be ideal for over 2.5.
Yeah, it would, yeah.
Yeah, badly needed.
Hitter gets, you don't want Galaxy sitting back on their lead and just kind of seeing it home.
Yeah.
There's a good chance for LA. Corner.
Looks corner.
Yeah. Oh.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think that was Ujet again. Yeah, it was Ujet again he got into some really, really good positions. But he probably should have did better there with his strike. I suppose there was a lot of
teed up nicely for him, and he kind of just went for the placing it with the side foot, but didn't get it past him.
For the viewers watching in, essentially the ball was knocked down kind of at about the penalty spot. Leggett got the ball and he actually struck the ball well, but there was a lot of defenders back, managed to get a block in and went out for a corner. Nothing has really come of that corner now, so it's a goal kick for Austin. Just while they're making a substitution now, Austin, so you're not missing anything. But I still have the West Ham kind of game on here where they're going through the post-match analysis. The Benrahma goal was an absolute beauty. Just clipped the post on the way in. Brilliant finish.
That's 3 now today. His, Pedro's, and Tielemans. 3 absolute fantastic finishes.
Yeah, it's the pity that it wasn't for a victory for West Ham. It was just the point, but
yeah.
Like Austin are playing here like it's in the 89th minute with the pace of these subs. So they've made 2 substitutions, but it's taken a good 2.5 minutes for the players to get onto the pitch between them.
That was a very bizarre. I was watching that as well. It actually distracted me. Like how lethargic they were getting off the pitch.
Yeah, and then the players coming on saying their prayers and stuff. It's just like, lads, we're 60 minutes into a game here,
Yeah. Or like as if they were 1-0 up kind of thing,
Yeah, it's a strange one. it's not as if they'd be like, not used to the heat or anything. It wouldn't be cool in Texas at this time of year.
Yeah.
Actually, a great attack.
Yeah. I thought so too. Well defended, but that was actually just mixed, crossed wires.
Have you any bets on the second half here, lads?
I don't. No, I lost that earlier bet on Porto, so I haven't had a bet since. And unfortunately, that trouble didn't come in either.
Not good.
Although for the 2 goals, it's starting to just drift a little bit here now for my liking.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing that one could totally liven it up again, but if that first one doesn't come soon, then
especially if it's a late 2-0 LA lead, it just kind of knocks all the
it's kind of game over at that stage already.
Yeah.
I mean, before the lull, Aston was having a pretty decent goal.
So it's 7-4 now for 2.5 goals.
Another corner though, so that side of it's looking really good.
Yeah.
Not a bad effort either to lead up to that corner. I mean, I think the keeper always had it covered, but plenty of power behind that.
He's come on as well. And LA are bringing another striker on now, so Carabal's coming on.
This would be absolutely perfect for a perfect time for an equaliser, and then LA then just pushing for the lead.
Yeah, I'm just nervous that they're going to try and take Granser off.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
They're kicking the stones, but great take by the keeper there, but it was a bit of a poor corner.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I thought it could have been a good corner, but then the keeper just got out and smothered it. So kind of it's back corner in the end. How are your NBA tipsters getting on, Slats?
It's not a great. Hasn't been a great month. It's I don't know. Is it because it's kind of winding down close to the end of normal season? I don't know. That really would have an effect, because I guess the way at the end of any season the games become a little more important. So you'd be expecting big players to step up and get over beaten, and generally people tip overs, as we know ourselves. It's definitely rare that you tip under a score or under a number of goals, or in the basketball under a number of rebounds or assists. But I mean, I think only 3 of them are in the black, kind of at the midpoint of the month, and there'll be the gap after regular season until like the 22nd when the playoffs begin.
And Slats, just for our viewers watching in, do you want to give a kind of a quick synopsis of what the leaderboard entails and what you do?
Yeah, it's just picking 10 NBA tipsters on Twitter. So I just selected 10. I started in March and selected 10 and tracked their betting each night. The good thing with the NBA betting is that there's a slate of games on every night, plenty of bets to choose from. And these guys, most of them do, put out tips every night, and free tips as well, the majority of them. So there's plenty there to choose from, but it can be kind of difficult to really track who's decent and who's a bit of a pretender, I guess, or kind of maybe has a bit of luck, kind of plays up their wins and kind of doesn't really reference their losses, that sort of thing. There's not a huge. Some of them do track a PNL themselves and kind of recap their previous night scores, but I just thought it was handy to kind of have a bit of an independent compilation.
Slats is kind of the independent sheriff or auditor of the NBA tipsters. So if you are betting on an NBA, it's worth following the page. So at SRD Betalong 2, Slats?
At SRD Betalong 2, LB took at SRD Betalong, so I went with at SRD Betalong 2. So it's just Slats at SRD Betalong 2.
Yeah, and you'd be able to see then,
and rather than just kind of auditing it, and I don't know, like just kind of stating it. I put it together more as a leaderboard to kind of compete them against each other, and whoever turns out the most PNL across the month, kind of wins the leaderboard for the month. And then I relegate 2 out of the leaderboard that finish at the bottom. So first month was okay. Again, there was a lot in the red, but I kind of cleared out some of that leaderboard. And then April was pretty good. The top 5, I think, returned about 70 units profit over the month, which was pretty decent. If you backed every bet of all 10 of them, I think you're only making 10 units profit over the month. But it was like plus 70 for the top 5. So, there was some pretty decent tips there. And then, like I was saying, it's been a tricky enough start to this month for them. Not really going their way. So, some good nights, but a lot of bad nights, bad beats, and that sort of thing. So,
speaking of bad nights, that would have been a lovely time for for Austin to score.
Yeah, it would have. It was a great move, and he's actually played really well since he's come on. I think it's Manea or Mania.
Looked like he had the keeper beaten there anyway.
Yeah, but that's his kind of second or third chance that he's had since he came on. So again, for the over it's good, but I see here the overs has drifted out to 9-4, which again might be worth a speculative bet, but.
I was just looking back at that Porto game. Porto were only kind of 1-2 favourites. They're away to Rio Ave, but it's second versus second last. Fair enough, Porto were away, but they kind of needed a win to guarantee that automatic qualification to the Champions League.
At 2-0, I thought that's a good shout for another goal, and I went in to check the odds, and it went 3-0. So.
I just kind of thought I was going safe back in the first half goal, and there was none. And then by 70 minutes they were up 3-0. There's definitely a few handy markets, like just Porto and over 1.5 was probably about 5 to 6 or 4 to 5, I'd say. Based on them being about 1-2 for the win. And obviously could have even gone Porto -1 or Porto and over 2.5 goals, and you'd be flying at the moment.
I never liked the -1 markets, those handicap markets. I just feel that there's always better value than them. But maybe that's just me. This game is just I'm starting to get a bad feeling about this LA game, Gary. I'm not sure if you're getting the same sense
in terms of goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it has kind of
getting a bit scrappy, maybe, or something.
I suppose the good thing is that Austin bringing on Mania has seemed to give them a good bit of an attacking threat, but it kind of comes in fits and spurts. They haven't been really having any domination. LA are on a good attack here now, kind of slowed it down, but I do think that it could be one of those games where one goal will kind of lead to more. But you just need it in the next. I think if you can get a goal before 75, there's 67 on my clock at the minute. So in the next 8-9 minutes, if you can get a goal, it opens back up to 2.5. Because I'd be fairly confident of the third goal coming if we can get a second one. But if the second one doesn't come in kind of before 80 or 85 minutes, then I think we're in a bit of trouble.
Yeah. Especially if that second goal is an equaliser, it'll very much open up.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel like. Certainly Galaxy can kind of sit back and accept the draw, no matter when that equaliser goes in. You'd expect them to go all out for the win.
Yeah.
Have you any bets picked out for tomorrow, LB?
I was looking at the SerieA market. I think we're having some audio feedback again there, guys. I was looking at the SerieA market. There's some good games tomorrow, but they're not priced up particularly attractive. I think Napoli are big odds on. Benevento are big odds on. They're probably both good value for the win, but not at the prices that they're at, and maybe goals in the Udinese and Sassuolo games, but again they're quite low price. It's 4 to 5 for 2.5 in the Sampdoria game. That stands out. The rest of them I'd probably be watching in play and hope that they, there's no worthy goals and then back goals a little bit later on, or maybe do kind of combine, Napoli and over 2.5, Benevento and over 2.5, get a bit of value there. What about you?
Yeah, like I said, I haven't really had a chance to research much, but I see that there's a full schedule of games in La Liga, and they're all kicking off at the same time. So I might do some sort of accumulator there, mixing goals and corners and things like that just together.
Yeah.
Which I like, it's not often you get that where a league has all its games on at the same time. So yeah, that's tomorrow evening around 5:30 UK time. So I'll have a look at that. Nothing stands out in the Premiership to me. I think there's going to be heavy favourites in most of the games, and it's hard to really back against them at the minute. So I think I'll avoid the Premiership games tomorrow, or try and avoid them.
Are any of them standing out to you for upsets?
Not really. I mean, I think that the Tottenham should beat Wolves. I don't know who's priced as favourite in Palace Villa, but I'd expect Villa to win. Expect Everton to win.
Yeah, Villa are fairly significantly favourites, just outside evens, and Palace are like 5-2 or something like that.
So yeah, that's the way I'd expect it to kind of go. Palace are a hard team to predict, and they have half the squad out of contract. So obviously Roy Hodgson's going to be leaving in the summer. They're kind of a weird team to predict. They have been having some decent enough results and performances recently, so they could be an outside bet. But would it be something I'd be recommending? I don't know. I don't think so. I think Villa, Tottenham, Liverpool, Everton is going to be the way the results go. But I'd say you probably wouldn't get much more than 4 or 5 to 1 on that Aka, I'd say.
For the same team in 5 scores competition, but I intended on going because it was nearly a week-long set of fixtures. I was intended on just going for Sunday games, so I was going to go for Kane to score two, Salah to score 2, and Richarlison to score in the Everton game. That was going to be my 5. I never actually updated my picks, and now I'm sitting with the fear of those 5 coming in. It would be absolutely sickening. So I looked at odds. I'm just backing that myself. Obviously, we've spoken about our 5 scores tournament, and it's basically where everyone in it, about 40 of us, pick 5 players to score in the Premier League every week, and if all 5 of them score, you win the pot, and if you don't, the pot rolls into the next week, and it builds. It's a 5-week weekend, so it builds by 100 quid or so every week. It's up over $6,000 now, and so to lose out on that $6,000, I was looking at just throwing a tenner on putting that bet together myself, and I would pay 28 to 1, which isn't awful odds, but to end up with 280 quid because you missed out on $6,000 would still be pretty sickening.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no way I'm throwing 200 quid on it to make it worthwhile either. But
there's actually a good treble, so everyone left in it this week is on the same 3 guys. Lou and Kane, so tempting one of those little fake hedges that you can do that doesn't actually hedge you out of everything, but kind of covered you a little bit. So Gary, you said 4 or 5 to 1 for that 4-fold tomorrow in the Premier League. It's 4.5 to 1, so pretty much bang on. But without Villa, it's actually just 6 to 4. So Tottenham, Liverpool, and Everton is 6 to 4 as a treble, which I wouldn't be going to be honest. I
can't see any other result than those 3 victories. But would I recommend backing at 6 to 4? Not a chance.
You say that I could easily see a draw in the Tottenham match and the Everton match. Tottenham, no manager. It's not been a great season for them. maybe now Mourinho's gone, it's kind of looking up a bit, but it hasn't been great for them. And Wolves, like Wolves can play very, even if things haven't gone well for them, when they do click, they look impressive. So, they could score 2 goals easily against Spurs. West Brom, the hangover of being relegated, can't see them trouble in Liverpool. But again, Sheffield, probably better than the table implies, and Everton are just probably the most hot and cold team in England at the minute. So I wouldn't be going near that. Villa look a good price at 5-4 though. So
yeah, there might be a bit of value in a same game multi there in the Villa game. Something like Watkins anytime over 1.5 goals. Villa, maybe corners, something like that. Throw it in. I'd say there's a decent little bet builder to be had there. So I might play around with that a little bit in the morning and see what kind of combi I could put in. Again, Palace are a team that you can kind of bank on cards as well. Like they've kind of a few aging players like Milivojevic. Kouyaté is kind of erratic. He'll play brilliant one week and then he'll be shocking the next week. You've got Cahill, Scott Dan. There's a few players like that who are good for booking. So I said a low stake, fiver on 50-1 kind of bet builder would appeal to me in that game because I think there's a chance of getting those bookings. And as we said, Villa will probably win. If they win, you'd expect Watkins to get the goals. To get an early goal, you could see multiple goals in the game. So that might be an angle I play, but I haven't had a chance to look at the prices at the minute. So I'll leave it to the morning. If I do it, I'll get it published out on our socials. So if anybody wants to follow, they'll have that there and they can do the same bet. But yeah, I think there probably is value in that bet builder market rather than going like a heavy bet on the win draw win market.
Yeah. So I was just looking there at the Spanish matches tomorrow. Oh. Finally got it. Fish update, the bet builder was looking all right. Well, certainly the Galaxy leg of it. Nice now. The corners and obviously they're looking good for the win and then Hernandez to score.
Yeah, like as I said at half time, Chicharito was 12-5 at half time to score anytime, which I thought was a great bet. So
how many corners have been in the match in total now?
There's been 9 so far.
So you're one shy of that leg coming in as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, Granzier got taken off. So that's that gone as well. So kind of out of bets at the moment for tonight. I'll have a look and see is there anything that tickles my fancy in the last few minutes of this game and put a small.
Mine is okay. The one I call out at half time. So 2 more goals and 5 more corners. So just 1 goal and 2 corners. And
so over 10.5 corners total, is it?
Yeah, or the bet 365 over 10, which I think is probably a loss leader type or a kind of a get you in the door type of slightly lower looking line, but yeah, it's over 10, which is the same thing, and 2.5 goals. So I'll go with that. I was just going to say in the La Liga tomorrow, Gary, so our slats as well, Madrid to win, Atletico, Real to win, Atletico to win, and Barca to win. What would you say the treble pays?
Madrid to win, Barca to win, and
Atletico to win. So bear in mind, in their last 6 combined games, they've got 2 wins between them. What would you say that the 3 wins tomorrow was?
5-2.
6-5.
Oh Jesus!
I'd lay that all day.
Yeah. I say, can you'd never get 5-6, would you?
You could back. Let me do the double chance the other way. Let me do the alternative double chance and see what it looks like.
Oh yeah, yeah. Geez, it's still. I bet you that won't be better than like 1-2.
No. So draw or Atletico. Well, you could back that, right? That's what we're saying. So not Madrid is Atletico or draw. Atletico Bilbao. Or Atletico
Bilbao or draw, yeah.
That's already better price. That's 5-4. Osasuna or draw is 10-3. and Barca. So that's Celta Vigo or draws 3-1.
Sorry, yeah, but what you're doing
that
is
doesn't actually. Yeah, that doesn't
none
count.
of those.
Yeah. Just realised that. I was like,
you'd have to do a weighted bet across the three of them.
It just split just across the three. It never works out, especially with the way bookies price up. With their kind of.
No, you need two of them in for to get anything out of it.
Yeah. But it's such a crap price.
Yeah, that's an awful price.
Like Atletico are playing really well this season. There's no doubt about it. Probably playing the best they've played in years, and they are. Let me just double check that. I think they're 1-5. Yeah, they're 1-5 for the win. Barcelona are 2-9. They are 8-15. Just seems very, very stingy.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Bilbao. Like, they're unbeaten in their last 9 home league games.
Yeah. I mean, Celta Vigo are no mugs at all. Like, they're still in the race for just about for Europa League. Sorry, Gary, what were you going to say?
Sorry, I was just saying for an interest, I followed you in on over 2.5 and over 10 corners.
Nice.
So I did it just in 2 singles, given how late it is in the game. So yeah.
What were the price in those 2 markets? Probably the same price I backed them at.
So it was 11-8 for another goal and 6-5 for corners, I think.
Oh no, that's a bit juicier. What's the time on the clock there? 11-8 is decent. I know obviously 1-1 would be very different, but 11-8 is not bad. 6-5, I got it at 11-10. So
yeah, it's actually at the 6-4 now to like over 2.5. So
yeah, but I mean, the game is over. Really, I don't really fancy betting it over 2 goals when it's 2-0.
No, I said it's small stake singles just because I've had a profitable day and want an interest in the last 8 or 9 minutes. I wouldn't. If you were asking me, you had tenner left in your account and you wanted to put it on something, I'd be saying just keep your tenner, but it's just for an interest.
Yeah. Are you going to watch Lille tomorrow, Gary? Tomorrow night? I know that's another full schedule, by the way. The whole of Ligue 1 kicks off at 8 p.m. tomorrow night.
Oh really? Okay, I didn't realize that. So yeah.
No, neither did I. I was actually looking through the schedule and I thought, God, a few of these actually kick off at 8 o'clock, and then
put your winnings from La Liga at 5:30 onto French League 1 at 8 o'clock. So
yeah,
definitely. There might be a few good ACCAs to be had there. I'm going to play around in those markets and see.
Yeah. Some of the prices are absolutely desperate. I mean, late season, obviously they've seen where the money is going. Like PSG, they've had their struggles recently. Okay, they're playing against Reims, who are not in any great place themselves, but like PSG are 1-10 in their game tomorrow. Lyon are 4-11. Lille are 4-11. It's very poor. You would be backing against them.
I wouldn't be backing against PSG at home. Yeah,
I know. 1-10 is just a ridiculous price.
Awful odds, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, some great games on tomorrow, and a huge step in towards knowing who's going to win both of those leagues. Not that I can see it happening, but if Lille win and PSG don't, I actually think they're champions.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Because PSG kind of slipped up last week, didn't they? I think they drew.
They drew. They only drew. Yeah. Yeah. So it's 3 points. Yeah, 2 games to go. They're 3 points ahead, and their goal difference is quite poor actually. So I think it must be the head-to-head that has got them that guaranteed. So yeah, some great games lined up tomorrow.
Doing a few corners here in this game. So basically, LA have just set back. Austin are, I don't know whether you'd class it as attacking or not. They're in the LA half, but they're just kind of playing it side to side. So I think Galaxy are fairly happy with what they've got. They're just kind of see out the clock, and I don't really think Austin have enough about them to break them down with the way they've just kind of set in. So it could end up being a fairly boring end to the game, but hopefully
it's looking like that. Maybe Austin will start taking some silly chances. That looks like a foul.
Yeah, looked like it was a definite foul. Chicharito wasn't happy, but Chicharito controlled the ball really well. It just seemed like he was dragged to the ground. But he's run the ball back here now, so on the attack. Oh, this could be the goal.
Oh.
Yes, my goal.
Brilliant.
Oh, yes. Unreal. It was actually a lovely finish.
He's onside, is he?
Oh,
celebrate. I think he's offside.
Oh, offside. He looks offside.
I cashed out anyway. I managed to get a cash out in there, so I'd probably advise you to do the same, LB, because that looked offside to me.
It was suspended on Bet365, so if you can get the cash out.
No, it's not giving it to me.
The ref had his hand up there. I don't know whether it was for offside.
It's only for the substitution, as far as I can see.
Like it has 3-0 on 5, so
it's back now, and it's
Oh, it's gone.
No, it's gone. Yeah. Back to
I'm delighted I was so quick with getting that cash out there.
They officially disallowed it though, because it seems like they the goal and then they went to substitution. I don't know, maybe
Yeah, look, the ref had his hand in the air, so
yeah.
I mean, I don't care. I hope the bookies can't take the money back out of my account.
No.
Draw.
If they're offering the cash out, that's on them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had that before with actually it was a Lille game as well. And they had a goal. They scored it. I was watching it live, and whatever reason, the rare occurrence that the TVs are ahead of the bookies, and I saw that he was offside. And even in celebration, he knew he was offside, whoever scored. And my bet was up, so I cashed out for like 90. Actually, was strange. It was 2 cents more than the expected payout. Whatever reason, the cash out went above. Cashed out, and then the goal got disallowed. I was absolutely over the moon with myself. But then they went on and scored 2 more goals later in the game, so it didn't matter in the end. But those few minutes, I was like the king. I was so happy with it.
That was the same here, as you were saying. It'll be like the player's reaction here to Carval, who scored that goal. So he's either coming on as a sub, a young lad. Like if he scores, you think he's going to celebrate, but he scored and just like turned around and walked back to the halfway line. So he knew he was offside.
He must have seen the ref or the linesman.
Need inspiration to kind of cash out. Like good attack by Austin here if they can. He's just couldn't find a pass. Like he did well to hold on to it at the end, but
that was a nice pass. Yeah.
A little bit more creativity, and he could have got his strike partner in.
Just saying creativity as well. There's a bit of urgency with Austin as well that they don't seem to have. You know, like the passes are always. Oh Jesus, what was that? They so often they pass back the way. This could be it here now.
Corner.
No.
Is it a corner?
No,
I don't think so.
It looked like it was, but it just seemed to be a bad shot. He dragged it wide.
You could tell the way he put his head in his hands. There was no corner there.
Yeah. But I'm surprised.
It's one thing I do like about the MLS. There's an awful lot less of the histrionics around, call on every throw and every corner and every.
There's a corner there anyway.
I thought it was an own goal for a second.
No, I'm 1 corner away from getting the 2 singles up. So you're 1 corner and a goal away, LB, of your double, are you?
Yeah.
It's going to be very harsh on that offside call.
Well, a rule, an offside goal and a penalty missed, and then end up below the goal line. Yeah. Although the penalty was, oh my God, what a cross!
That's terrible. Like, won't even take that corner short. You're 2-0 behind. Just like take the corner properly and try and get one of your centre halves on you or something like that. It's a bit of a silly decision. I
don't get it. Mistakes happen. You put it into just outside the 6-yard box. Like a defender can score an own goal. You know, you put it out there, out to the corner of the box, the far, like where they put that one. Nothing can happen. There's no way you're scoring.
Nearly, like the corner came from a scramble in the box where they nearly scored an OG, and then you have the chance to put it in again. You don't do it. Just seems illogical. Like
that's the polite word. The thing is, they're actually well able to play, Austin.
They are, yeah. It's kind of like when both teams are playing fairly expansive, Austin look okay, but when Galaxy are sitting in, they don't have that kind of. They probably need number 10 who can play, a good true ball or whatever, like a really technical player. Yeah. Because in general play, they're a fairly decent team.
Can't see there being much injury time here, really.
No. A goal and a couple of substitutions really is all there's going to be.
Yeah, but there has been a lot of subs in the second half. Like LA have made their 4 subs.
3 minutes. Here we go. 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That was some chance there, the ball in the box. Why was he lifting it across like that? That was a strange one.
I'd really celebrate a corner now. God, I thought that was going to be
God, that was a chance there, yeah.
Yeah.
If he just gotten one step further, it would have been he would have forced the defender into a corner. I just don't get Austin at all here. Like, back to the keeper again.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, they've no chance, but it's just the lack of urgency is odd.
Yeah, but even in the last 10 minutes, it's been like that. They've kind of settled for the fact that they're not going to win the game without actually trying to win the game, if you know what I mean. It's been a strange one.
Yeah. Like, not chasing that ball there. Like, what was that about?
Yeah, so now, like, Villafana has it here just in the corner. You think that he's going to just try to launch it down the line, like, which he does.
But why did no Austin player chase that ball towards the
yeah, I think they've just kind of given up, to be honest. Now, a shot here for a corner would be right up my street. God, that's terrible. Yeah, like, I mean, as I said, it's probably because they're a new team and they're trying to, get a bit, know each other's game, or they don't know each other's game as well, or whatever, or get a bit of confidence behind them. But they do definitely have the ability, Austin. It's just they're not able to put it all together, it doesn't seem.
Yeah.
As you said as well, like the urgency, they probably know that they're like nothing is expected of them this season. So they're happy enough just to kind of make up the numbers for this season and try and build something next year.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be it now. So we're nearly at 93 minutes. I'd say the ref will be blown up soon.
2-0 as well. There's no reason to give any extra second, is there? Just blow it up.
Exactly,
controversy of blowing it up or anything.
Yeah, finished.
Yeah, game over.
Disappointing end to it.
Yeah, it was a disappointing end to the evening, but I thought, like, Joey, had some decent action throughout the night.
Yeah, some very good action. I don't think anyone's going to hear me on the screen, guys, so you two have to talk away.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to wrap it up there anyway, right?
Yeah, so guys, thanks for watching. We're going to end here, but we'll see you next week. Keep an eye out for the socials for updates on our bets, and don't forget to check out SportsRunDown.com as well for all of the content that'll be up there over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Have a good night, and we will see you next week.
Cheers.